You're watching First Alert 7 News at 9 on the CW and live on YouTube with Lauren Munt and weather with Tom Tiefertiller.
The First Alert 7 weather team is keeping an eye on several severe storms that could come into our area tomorrow. We've got meteorologist Sawyer McElroy live in the studio with us today. She'll share more details on the storm in just a few minutes. Thanks for joining us for First Alert 7 News on the CW, and thanks to those of you joining us live on our YouTube. I'm Lauren Munt, and we start tonight tracking crime. The Winkler County Sheriff's Office says a teenager was arrested after a hit and run last night in Kermit. 2 juveniles were sent to the hospital. Authorities say that 17-year-old Daniel Muniz failed to stop after hitting 2 pedestrians. They say a witness followed Muniz and called Kermit police. The juvenile victims were taken to the Winkler County Hospital and then life-flighted to Lubbock. The victims' ages were not released, but we're told that they are in critical condition. Muniz is charged with 2 felony counts of accident involving serious bodily injury. Meanwhile, over in Midland, police are also investigating a pedestrian hit and run overnight. They say this happened on West Wall Street in downtown just after midnight. Witnesses reported an SUV swerved and hit a pedestrian, then continued driving east. Police say the victim was taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. Now, MPD did not say if they have any suspects or if any arrests have been made. And a 58-year-old man has been sentenced to life in prison on 3 different charges: 2 counts of aggravated sexual assault of a child and another count of indecency with a child by exposure. He was previously convicted of a child sex offense in 1986, which means that when he was convicted for the aggravated sexual assault charges, he automatically would get sentenced to life in prison. And the Midland judge that sentenced him gave him the maximum possible sentence for the indecency charge. In Odessa, police are searching for 2 suspects that they say stole more than $2,000 worth of merchandise from Best Buy. You can see the man and woman on your screen right there. They're accused of this theft. Police say they left the store in a black SUV, and anyone who knows who these 2 are is encouraged to call Odessa Police or Odessa Crime Stoppers at 432-333-TIPS. And you'll remember yesterday we told you that Planning and Zoning Commissioner John Burkholder's participation in a vote has led to a complaint and a possible ethics violation. In August, Burkholder voted against daycare services at the future Northwest location of the YMCA while living across the street from the site. Now, Burkholder is running for Midland City Council at large, and he says his attorney say that he was fine to vote.
It is my job to make sure that the citizens of Midland, as a planning zoning commissioner, to make sure that the decisions we make are focused on safety and the concerns of the citizens of Midland. And I will always continue to stand up for the citizens of Midland.
There are details on this story up on our website, firstalert7.com. Like we mentioned at the top of our show, there is a chance for severe thunderstorms tomorrow. We've got some scattered storms tonight. Let's check in with meteorologist Sawyer McElroy. Sawyer?
Yeah, good evening, Lauren. We are seeing some showers and thunderstorms ongoing across portions of the area, really starting to kick off across portions of southeast New Mexico this evening. We also do have a flood watch in effect through Saturday morning for southeast New Mexico and into the northern Permian Basin, where accumulations of 1 to 3 inches of rain are possible and locally higher amounts are possible. So as always, turn around, don't drown. Here's a look at that live radar. Like I mentioned, we do have a couple of storms popping up there. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning for the Carlsbad area until about 8:45 p.m. Mountain Time. Hail size up to 2 inches and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts are possible with that storm. Temperatures currently, though, sitting in the 60s, 70s, and 80s across the region, so still kind of a mild night out there. Winds anywhere from being calm to about 20 miles per hour, and we are seeing gusts as well across the region, anywhere from about 15 to 30 miles per hour. Hourly temperatures, we're not going to see a ton of variation in those temperatures, courtesy of cloud cover, some high relative humidity values out there this evening. And we do, like Lauren mentioned, and I have as well, have a severe weather outlook coming up for tomorrow. Scattered strong severe storms for this area in yellow. This does include the Midland Odessa area. Isolated strong severe storms for this area in dark green. Our main threats tomorrow, everything is in play. Large hail, strong winds, and even a tornado or 2 are possible. So something to keep in mind there. As always, you can download the First Alert 7 weather app to stay up to date with the latest weather conditions and receive weather alerts as they come in. So definitely something to keep an eye on. And like I mentioned, we are starting to see some showers and thunderstorms already popping up out there tonight, especially across portions of southeast New Mexico.
Thank you. And Sawyer, this is your official reminder to set your clock back this weekend. And while you're doing that, think about the extra safety that you might need, especially for those who find themselves out alone at night. For many, this shift raises safety concerns, particularly for women. Instructors at Midland BJJ, a local martial arts school, encourage students to take proactive steps to protect themselves, equipping them with practical self-defense skills and building confidence.
Get on the mat in a non-stressful environment where people are there to help you and see you succeed, and let's practice some actual skills and not just using hope as a tactic. I hope I could do this to somebody. It does not sound as good as I know because I do it every day.
The classes emphasize that knowledge and practice are key to feeling prepared, so the skills become second nature should anyone face a dangerous situation. And Dia de los Muertos celebrations are happening this weekend. Tomorrow, the El Noel Art Museum is hosting the 15th annual Dia de los Muertos celebration there. People will be able to celebrate and learn about the tradition of the holiday. There will be free art activities and performances from the Viva Mexico dance group from Odessa, as well as the Ballet Folklorico from Midland. This is an opportunity for people to honor their loved ones who have passed away.
For people who don't know what it is, to educate them. And sometimes there's some confusion. People think that Dia de los Muertos is scary or somehow related to Halloween, which is not the case. So we are happy to show that it's a day we honor our ancestors and celebrate loved ones that have passed away in their memory.
Houston artist Guadalupe Hernandez will be there to do a special artist talk and to discuss his current exhibition, Con Carino, at the El Noel Art Museum. The Dia de los Muertos event is tomorrow, and it starts at 1:30 and it'll end at 4:30. The event is free and open to the public. And like we just said, it's a time to honor loved ones who've died, and that can be really difficult for different people. Feelings of loss can be confusing and difficult to navigate, especially for children who may not understand the concept and finality of death. One mental health clinician with the Texas Tech University Health Sciences Center says it's important to let children see grief.
You can start talking to children about death right away as soon as they are little, when they see a flower die or a bug die, and you talk to them in the language that is appropriate for them. So if a bug dies, you talk to them about how their life is no longer here, and then you bury them and they don't come back.
Michelle went on to say that grief is different for everyone, and that's why showing support through celebrations like Dia de los Muertos is important.
But through their stories that were shared with us, I felt like I knew them. When I lost my dad, it was something, oh, now I get to add him to my altar. But I was able to talk to people. This is my papi, and this is what he did, and this is what he liked to drink.
The first day of celebrations are for children who have died, and the second day honors adults who have died. In some health headlines now, today Governor Greg Abbott's state executive order mandating the release of immigration status of individuals being treated in hospitals went into effect. This order, signed last August, requires public hospitals to submit a report on the cost of treating these patients in order to later seek reimbursement. But many are concerned about how healthcare will affect undocumented individuals in our region and whether it's necessary to disclose this information. Right now, hospitals and lawyers alike are not sure what this will change about the intake process or how the information will be used in the future.
It won't affect medical center hospital at all. We do not turn away any patient, any person, regardless of their ability to pay, citizenship status. Anybody is welcome in our health system to receive treatment.
But someone that is out of status or has no status has a right to refuse to give out that information, and the hospital still must treat the person that is seeking medical attention.
Now, this order is only required for public medical facilities. If you seek private medical care, this information will not be released to the state government. The first report will be submitted on March 1st, 2025, and it'll continue to be a quarterly report. And Midland Memorial Hospital has announced that it'll be postponing some elective surgical procedures that require IV fluids. That's because of a national shortage of IV fluids that's caused by Hurricane Helene. Patients scheduled for postponed procedures will be notified directly by MMH staff, and patients who have not received notification should arrive as scheduled. Another health story, Midland County has announced that next Tuesday, Holy Cross Lutheran Church will not be available as a voting center. This is due to a recent COVID outbreak among election judges and their alternates. For a full list of voting sites and early voting locations, you can visit our website, firstalert7.com. And happening tomorrow, Make-A-Wish West Texas is hosting their annual Walk for Wishes Fall Festival 5K at Fiddlesticks Farm. This event supports local children with critical illnesses across the West Texas region. Make-A-Wish West Texas has 92 kids who are currently waiting for their wishes to come true. Now, these wishes may vary depending on the kid, but Make-A-Wish West Texas aspires to grant them all.
It could be waiting for a certain type of medical approval from their physician, depending on what the wish is. Like, for instance, if they're wanting to go to Hawaii, we can only grant so many Hawaii wishes in a quarter.
Now, if you're not already registered for the event, you will be able to register tomorrow at the walk. The 5K will begin at 11:15 a.m. and the 1K will start at 12. And the 2025 Miss Rodeo Sandhills pageant winners are being crowned this weekend. The competitions start tonight at 6 p.m. at the Ector County Coliseum. Candidates in all categories will be competing in horsemanship, and it's completely free to attend if you'd like to watch. Winners of the pageant are ambassadors for the Sandhills Stock Show and Rodeo, which happens at the beginning of January each and every year.
A lot of the interest in being in a rodeo queen pageant is that all of them will have a scholarship. So at the end of their reign, they're able to collect that scholarship and help pay for their college education, which is very important, and it's very important to us as well.
The speech, interview, and the coronation are all happening tomorrow at 1 p.m. at the Odessa Regional Medical Center Auditorium. Tickets to that event are $20. And the Sibley Nature Center is inviting everyone to experience the night sky and nighttime wildlife at Sibley after dark. From 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. tomorrow, Sibley will be set up to teach people about nocturnal mammals and stargazing. Plus, there will be a scorpion walk at 8:15 to look for the insects and see them glow under the ultraviolet light. There will also be other fall activities to participate in for everyone to enjoy. Sibley Nature After Dark is tomorrow, again, from 6 to 8 p.m. And a new Texas Wildlife Association educator has brought back in-person lessons to the Permian Basin. This is all coming from a program called Wildlife by Design. Wildlife by Design involves a conservation educator physically teaching in a classroom. Now, there are 6 different lessons available, all covering topics like animals, soil, and water. Each taught in about 45 minutes, and it's no extra cost.
For example, we have a Skins and Skulls program where after she kind of teaches them different ways to identify the animals based off of, the adaptations and structure function of their skull, she'll actually give it to the students to investigate themselves to identify that animal.
Now, they also align with the Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills Standards. The Permian Basin has not had a dedicated educator since before the COVID-19 pandemic, but now they cover 18 counties, all in the Permian Basin. Coming up, it's week 10 of Friday Night Football. We'll take a look at the scores coming up next. All right, you know what day it is. It's Friday night and football is happening right now. The First Alert 7 team is scattered all across the Permian Basin at all of our football games. Of course, the game of the week that everyone's talking about, a rivalry in the Tall City. Starting with the Midland Bulldogs, Elijah McCoy ran for 360 yards and added his name into the history books in their win against the Central Bobcats. That was last week. They turned their attention to Midland Legacy, a team that they haven't beaten, I should say, since 2016. Last year, both teams battled in the first half until the Rebels pulled away in the final 2 quarters. Now, speaking of Legacy, they're coming off of a huge win against Permian last Friday. They're familiar with the run game as they found a way to stop Gavin Black, and they look to contain Elijah and his partner in crime, Stroman Bridges. We're going to take a quick look at all of the scores that are up on our website right now. Let's check in with that Legacy Midland High game. Legacy beating Midland High 14-7 at the half. Looks like Legacy might pull out that win there, but we'll see. The Bulldogs have been working really hard. Moving down to 4A, Andrews and Pecos. Andrews, they won against Pecos 41-21. 3A, Fort San 20, Ozona 14, dropping all the way down to our 2A games. Sterling City and McCamey, they are tied right now in the second quarter. 6-man in the 1A division. Grand Falls Royalty, they're beating Sanderson 22-13. Those scores are all up on our website, firstalert7.com. Feel free to check them out, and don't forget to tune in to the Blitz tonight. That's right after First Alert 7 News at 10. Plus, they're streaming it on YouTube with an extended version, so stick around for that.
We are starting to see some showers and thunderstorms popping up across the region tonight, especially across portions of southeast New Mexico. But that severe weather threat continues tomorrow as well. I'll have all the details on what to expect coming up in just a few minutes.
Now from the First Alert 7 Weather Center, here's meteorologist Sawyer McElroy.
Good evening, everybody. Overall, we have seen a quiet day across the region, but we are starting to see some thunderstorms popping up across portions of the area. We do have a flood watch in effect through Saturday morning for southeast New Mexico into the northern Permian Basin for accumulations of 1 to 3 inches of rain possible, and locally higher amounts are possible as well. As always, turn around, don't drown, especially through the overnight hours where you can sometimes not see those roads. Here's a look at live radar. The majority of the region is looking at quiet conditions at the present time. But like I mentioned, we are starting to see some storms popping up, especially across portions of southeast New Mexico. tonight, and we do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 8:45 p.m. Mountain Time for Eddy County for hail size up to an inch and a half, and this has been observed by the public. We are seeing wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour as well with that. High temperatures today still kind of on the warm side for our Friday as we rounded out the week with highs into the 70s and 80s and even a few 90s across the region. Temperatures currently sitting in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Winds continuing to be elevated, anywhere from being calm to about 15 miles per hour across the area, and we are seeing wind gusts anywhere from about 20 to 30 miles per hour. Overall, overnight, we are looking to see scattered showers and thunderstorms continuing, mainly across southeast New Mexico and into the northern Permian Basin, but we could see a storm or two across the central Permian Basin as well. Those lows dropping to the 50s and 60s, and winds will continue to be elevated anywhere from about 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tomorrow, our rain chance does continue along with storm chances, and those highs going to be in the 70s and 80s once again. So overall, not too cool of a day, but kind of right on par with where we should be for this time of year. Those winds will also continue to be elevated anywhere from about 10 to 20 miles per hour coming up for our Saturday. Our severe weather chance kind of does increase coming up tomorrow. Scattered strong severe storms are possible for this area in yellow. This does include Midland, Odessa, Big Spring, Andrews, and then isolated strong severe storms are possible for this area in dark green. Severe risks tomorrow, everything is in play. Tornadoes are possible. The threat is on the low end, but we could see a tornado or two, especially across the central Permian Basin. Large hail is our biggest threat coming up tomorrow, with ping pong ball to tennis ball size hail possible. And then strong winds are also possible coming up for our Saturday. For our futurecast, like I mentioned, we are looking to see those storms kind of mainly across southeast New Mexico into the northern Permian Basin through the overnight hours, but we do have 2 rounds coming up tomorrow. 1 round in the morning that is looking to be to the north of the area, but then we start to see convection once again tomorrow afternoon and evening starting around 2 p.m. pushing through the Permian Basin through the evening hours and then continuing through the early nighttime hours. The good news is everything looks to be out of the area by about midnight, even though we do have a rain chance coming up for Sunday as well. For our First Alert 7-10-day forecast, we do have a First Alert day coming up tomorrow due to that chance for strong severe storms. Like I mentioned, rain chances continue into our Sunday as well, but we will be clearing things out and cooling things down Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday courtesy of our next cold front. Overall cooler weather and rain chances do look to continue throughout a good portion of the extended forecast.
Up next here at 9, a flagpole dedication in Odessa and the Feast of Sharing in Midland. We're talking your community news next here at 9. The Odessa YMCA is where a new flagpole was dedicated to start Military Family Month. Take a look. The new flagpole was built in September, and it was paid for through funds raised by veteran and YMCA member John Curry. It's a project that also involved local VFWs and the American Legion.
Well, each and every one of them is, of course, Americanism is one of the major projects of them, patriotism and community service.
The project started after Curry noticed that the pole was too damaged to even raise the flag. And launched in 1989, HEB's Feast of Sharing regularly serves more than 340,000 meals annually in 34 cities throughout Texas and Mexico. Tonight, 5,000 meals were served at the Midland event. Now, the Midland event kicks off the entire season of Feast and Sharing. All 34 of those events started with Midland tonight. This is the 22nd time that it has been in Midland. Odessa will host its Feast of Sharing on December 6th. Still ahead, we're going to take one last look at your weather forecast before we head into the weekend. Coming up on First Alert 7 News at 9.
All right, a final check before we leave you tonight. We do have the chance for severe weather coming up tomorrow. Scattered showers and thunderstorms for those areas in yellow. That does include the Midland, Odessa, Big Spring area. Isolated strong severe storms for that area in green. All threats are at play tomorrow. Large hail, strong winds, and even tornadoes cannot be ruled out coming up tomorrow. Overall, we are looking to see cooler weather and rain chances continuing throughout a good portion of the morning.
Stay safe and stick with First Alert 7 for anything you might need weather related. Thanks for joining us tonight. We have more news coming up at 10.